The deadline in this sector for voluntary presentation at the experimental center is 6 o'clock.
You're supposed to be an artist. Use your imagination.
Oh, thanks a lot. I'm all out.
What's happening, everybody? Shelton J. Think About It Radio. We here once again, baby. You thought we was going somewhere. No, sir, no way, no how. Man, this is the first segment that I'm doing on our Straight From the Street segment, where we talk to people from the street level, and we get ideals, and we get communication, and we get conversations on how to solve some of these problems from the street level, from the ground up. Can you dig it? And I got my special guest with me tonight, Mr. Brandon Whitting, motivational speaker extraordinaire. Y'all done heard him before. Boy, this young man has a lot of information to share. And how you doing tonight, my brother?
Man, it's a pleasure, man. How you doing, bro? It's always an honor and a privilege, man, being great company.
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm sorry I slipped and said my boy, and I tried to say this is just a young king right here, so I'm so sorry to put that boy out there, my brother, because I try to be selective about the language that I use. You did?
Yes, sir. It's all good, man. You know how we do it.
Yes, sir. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Well, I appreciate your time. Now, when I put out there on social media, I put out there that my man Vincent Booker will be doing the Straight From the Streets with me as well. But we're going to flip it up because, he had an emergency he had to attend to tonight. So we're going to have Brandon on, and sometime we're going to have Vincent on, and we just going to keep it in the mix because we all about having these positive conversations, and hopefully somebody can hear something from what we said, and then they can move forward from there. And that's just a blessing to be able to even do that. And so I just appreciate y'all brothers for being willing, to even sit down and do this segment with me, man. I appreciate that.
Yes, sir, man. It's a blessing for all of us, man. Like us, we kind of discussed this in the past, and me and Vincent, I've been knowing that brother for 20 some odd years now. So, this stuff we've been, discussing whether in our music and just an informal conversation. So, man, just a lot of knowledge. We've met a lot of brothers who had a lot of knowledge to share with us during our times when we met in that dark period where that light came of incarceration. So, yeah, that brother's pretty sharp, man. So,
yeah, you're right about that, man.
It's a great platform, opportunity,
right,
man.
I appreciate it. I mean, again, I appreciate you guys' willingness to even want to jump on and even connect with me like that, man. Now, question. You stated that you guys met each other being, in a situation incarcerated, dark place and stuff for that. Now, what was one of the common things you heard brothers say that were behind those bars as far as the streets and the street life and the decisions that they made? What are some of the common things you heard guys say on a regular basis that they wish that they wouldn't have done?
Well, I'll say a lot of times what they used to say a lot is that, they wish they wouldn't have been out there selling drugs and, just went to the other levels as far as the crimes or as murder. And, I met a lot of, I met some killers, man. And and a lot of it is when, they start looking at how they hurt their family and their children.
Right.
So I think a lot of that was an eye-opening experience for them behind bars. That made them start thinking about their immediate family. So
I see that.
Yeah,
I can see how that can happen, though, man. Now, me and my co-host, we were talking earlier before I got on and did the show, right? We were talking about trap music, and I was saying that trap music is almost like the first 48 on your own self, because you like telling the police everything you doing. So if they roll up on you, they know where you are.
Yeah, and the irony of what you're saying is that, it's been rappers who've been convicted, from their lyrics, and it goes either way, we know how they play out, but a lot of that has, played into that because they using these same lyrics that, you may have killed somebody or whatever, and what you was insinuating in your lyrics. I think it was some rappers in Chicago, I can't remember their names right off the bat.
Yeah,
but
I think I remember something about
happened. And just think about the word trap. You talk about language all the time, brother.
Yes.
And language defines us. When we change our language, then you'll be able to change how we think. So a lot of times, this language defines us. So when we think of a trap, bro, I've been in the streets And that's exactly what it is. You know,
trap.
a trap, bro. Exactly. I mean, it's in the embodiment of the word. So, yeah, but yeah, that's what's going on, bro. And then we got social media. Well, you know, people are filming each other fighting. So
Yes.
again, you incriminate yourself. You know, incriminate yourself. So,
what I would like to do.
Yeah, you're right.
What I would like to do, though, man, and I'm going to definitely start doing this as I go up to random young adults, and I have a lot of these conversations. That's what I want to do with the Straight from the Street segment. But I want to be able to take some of those conversations that I have with some of those younger people that I meet and speak on some of their reactions, right? And say, hey, I asked this young person this particular question, and they stated that they would like to see more of XYZ. And so I want to expose more of that because, again, the next generation, the youth, they're the ones that's going to be taking over. And so whatever in their mindset is, if they're limited in their mindset, then you're going to have limited results. So we owe it to them, right? To give them everything they need. And on the street level is where it starts, right? Because that's where we go catch them at. On on the highways and byways.
Right. Exactly. And like you said, that's good, bro. You know, because that'll get you in touch. Because sometimes we tend to lose touch because we're not out there, so to speak. You know, I'm not out in the streets like that again. But I'm around people that's still out in that environment. And, you know, I relate to them because I've been there. I try to drop some knowledge on them without criticizing. You know, me and you talked about this stuff before because we can't go in it. I think you said that before. You can't go in it like we go in it with like they should know. I had this conversation. Well, I responded on this post to one of my close friends. And they was talking about sagging pants, right?
Yeah.
You know, some states they got a law against sagging pants, but I remember I used to sag, and it was fed and everything. A lot of times we forget when we was young, so we started criticizing and judging without, you know, going in and thinking like, you know, look, shaking my head, look at these kids sagging. And so I got on the post. I understand what the brother was saying. He was talking about skinny jeans too. So I said that, you know, we know that we have a bigger problem than clothes. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
So it's deeper than that. So, you know, just to think about some clothes and sagging, we got a deeper problem than that. And you know, I was just, because everybody was just jumping in on it and just going in, yeah, man, that's so feminine and stuff like that about skinny jeans. But, you know, I just wanted to come from a different perspective because, as you said, we go in with, like these kids know, but it's no different from us when we were sagging. We might not be sagging like a lot of them now. We did the same stuff. You know what I mean?
I don't know how many times. Pull your pants up, boy. Oh, yes, ma'am. Pull my pants
exactly.
up. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. What you doing with that earring on? Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry.
Right.
Take that out. You know, but you had that conversation, and again, it didn't make you a thug. It didn't make you a negative person because it made you go with the fashion that you felt was you felt you could rock that at that particular time. But if you from the outside looking in, you'll make that judgment. But if you got the media saying, okay, look at this person in this dress, look what this person did, they set the perception. They set what that is. You know, when the NBA, when they make those guys start wearing like suit and ties and stuff like that, right? When they're going around shooting, being gangsters because they were wearing hip hop clothes, they didn't want that culture to affect them.
Right.
But there's more criminals in suit and ties. Those Enron cats, didn't they have suit and ties on?
Hey, there you go. I said that in man, I mean, we think so much alike because that NBA thing popped up in my head. And we got to understand it's a bigger picture with this stuff, you know.
It's a way bigger
because
picture.
A lot of times we bring our own flavor. If you recall, bro, back in the 80s, you know, when you was trying to get money, you know, a lot of, especially African Americans, was trying to get money and assimilate, as you say, the illusion of inclusion. You know, we talked about that before. So, you know, a lot of them started acting other than their culture or how they grew up. So we call them sellouts, right? Mm-hmm. But see, now things have changed where you got these rappers, they get money, but they're able to also be themselves. And that's the thing, you know. I want to be able to be myself. I don't want to have to adapt. Who are you to tell me that your culture is greater You know, why do I have to tuck my shirt in? You know what I mean? Tuck my shirt in my pants because I may not want to tuck my shirt in my pants. You know, why do I have to be considered smart or intelligent because I have to have a suit and tie on? So, you know, we got these dynamics, man, and this going back to what we were saying earlier about judging people based on what they were or how they look and who came up with this.
Exactly.
Which you was touching on.
We don't even know these people
know?
because, again, the perception is set. The perception is set. If you see a black person do something negative on in the news, they're going to show everything negative about them. Even when a black person gets killed in the news, right? First thing they show,
right.
Oh, he's a felon. He's been to jail.
Right.
He had this on. He had that. Does that mean he deserved to die? So we put those images out there. So all of a sudden now your sympathy level goes down. Well, he was a criminal. Well, he did have those saggy pants on. Well, he was hard headed, and so you don't really feel as bad about what happened to this person because they put those code words out there. Again, we got to think about the optics of all this stuff, man. The things that we throwing out, and even with the street stuff. Okay, we say they put crack cocaine in the neighborhood. We know COINTELPRO. We know about all that. But my thing that I say, we know that was put there, but did we have to use it? We knew what drugs could do. We knew you could get money from them. You knew you could die and get sick from using them as well. But did it stop people from doing it? It should have only been one crackhead, right? But there was more than one crackhead because it ain't going to happen to me. So once you see the results of what that is, what makes you continue to do it? Yeah, we have those, we say trap set, the drugs in the community. That's all they put in there. But that was all you can do because to be a drug dealer, you got to have a brilliant mind. You got to have an entrepreneurial mind in order to pull all this stuff up. So you mean to tell me you couldn't start no other kind of business?
But, you know, I'm going to say this. You know, you got some good points. But when you there in that situation,
yes, sir.
You know, I grew up in the hood. When you there and, you know, you're not seeing, as we was talking about, all in history we knew about slaves, you know, a lot of times. That's how we was taught, or like I say, the little basics. I have a dream speech, but we wasn't taught too much. Like our history go further back than that with kings and queens, and that's even up to date. You know, you have black doctors, neurologists, you know, black entrepreneurs. We had those things, which is something like Bill Cosby was trying to push out as well. We already see what happened to him.
You see how that worked. But Charlie Sheen never got in trouble for giving women HIV. But that's another story for another time.
Yep, there you go. So, but, you know, when you in it, you know, and they know, they study, they understand where any time, brother, in sociology, they already understand that when there's poverty, there's going to be crime. They go hand in hand. So what happens is a lot of times when things change, a lot of people be trying to escape from their situation.
Their reality.
And they fall victim to drugs, you know, and it's just a reality. Even if you're not in the hood or not, you know, people still do this. You know, it was people who was living in nice houses and everything on crack. You know, some of the teachers we used to see come to the hood. Yeah. So they know that what this, you know, this stuff can happen, and the more detriment and the more accessible it is. But do we have to make the choice? No. But that's pretty much that's how it is, man. And it happened like that. And but you know, this stuff comes with knowledge, and that's what we're trying to do. You know, you can be high on life. You don't need all that stuff, but that's pretty much where we fell into these traps. And then, you know, you want to be the next hustler, the best. I didn't have to make the choice I made. You know, I come from a good family, but it's just idolizing and seeing this stuff right in front of me and not being strong enough to say no and walk away, you know? Definitely. I still don't remember men even sitting down talking to me. You know, I still needed that help too as well, but that's just how it happened. And that's just the nature of the beast.
That's what community is important at, though, man. And that's why I think that we lost a sense of that. As I said before, and if anybody listened to any of the previous shows, you'll hear me say this. I'm not saying you know, segregation. I didn't live when segregation was going on. I just look at the numbers and I read the history of it. It seemed like the family unit was better because we had to have each other.